We had the first African-American female judge, Constance Baker Motley, who was the judge that we went before in New York. And she told the Board of Ed, she strongly encouraged them to give me another medical exam. And so I got the other medical exam, I got my license, I taught. But if I hadn't gone to court, it wouldn't have happened. If I hadn't been able to get the support of family, friends, and other disabled people to say, let's use this example of job discrimination as one that not only talks about one person being denied a job, but let's look at this as an issue which discusses so many other disabled people, including till today, who are being denied jobs because of having a disability. And that's really, I think, when we look at entrepreneurship for women, that is such an important issue. Because for those women who want and can set up their own businesses, and when I say can, they have the fortitude, the strength to be able to venture forth and do things that others maybe have said they couldn't do. Having disabled women as a part of the work that's going on. And my sense is that because in the United States, 20% of the population have in the global setting, 15 to 22%, that there probably are women in positions across the organization that in fact do have disabilities, that are not discussing their depression or their anxiety or their cancer or whatever, or their impact of sexual assault, all these different things which can cause disability. And it's important in my mind for people to be able to speak about this as a part of who you are. It's not my whole being. My wheelchair is not my whole being, right? My wheelchair is a part of who I am. And accessibility is something that I want people to look at. So I want people to see me, the total me. I'm a Jewish disabled woman. I want people to see all of those components. I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm an aunt. I want people to see that. I don't want people to say to me, I don't even notice that you have a disability. What does that mean to me? That means you're going to invite me to a house and not think whether or not there's steps. You're going to hold a meeting, and when I get there and it's not accessible, you're going to say, oh, I never thought about it. These are things that we have to think about. So, I mean, for me, when I think about, Women's Entrepreneurship Day, it's all these women around the world who are strong women, who are leaders in communities, who are breaking barriers and doing things that others felt they couldn't do, and allowing disabled people who are interested in entrepreneurship and are already in the field to speak up and out and reach out to other disabled women who may be interested in starting a business, learning how to do it, being a mentor. These are the things that I think are very important.
Wow. All right. So Judy, I personally want to know, was it when you were younger, would you say it was your parents that inspired you and gave you the courage to become a leader? I mean, because when I watched that, going back to that documentary, I'm telling you, everybody, you got to watch it. Going back to that documentary, you saw, you even at that camp, you were a leader and you were getting everyone together and stuff like that. And then when you went to Berkeley, I mean, obviously you were one of the leaders of this whole movement and you were recognized on the cover of Time magazine. Who was your mentor? What was that advice that you got when you were younger that really, or who inspired you to be able to know that you could make this happen?
So I think it's a combination. My mother and my father, in many ways, because I learned when I was 36 years old that some doctor had told my parents when I was 2 that they should put me in an institution. And my parents said no, but they never told me that. But, from that story, learning many years later and going back, I watched what my parents were doing. When the principal said I couldn't go to the school, my mother and father were really looking at how to get me into school. And although I didn't start going to a school with non-disabled children till I was in high school, I did get to go to school when I was in the 4th grade, only with disabled children. The learning was not good, but it was a great opportunity for me then to be able to begin to meet other disabled people and really learn that many of us were facing the same barriers. When I started going to elementary school in Brooklyn, if you used a wheelchair, you went back on home instruction because none of the high schools were accessible. And so my mother and other mothers organized and got the Board of Ed to make high schools around the city accessible so that me and my friends and people I didn't know who used wheelchairs didn't wind up going back on home instruction. These are also very important stories. But this ability at Camp Jened and in school, the ability to meet people like ourselves and like this meeting, bringing women together who are entrepreneurs. There's a reason that you're bringing the women together as entrepreneurs, right? You have similar visions of where you want to go, and some people have similar fears and similar questions, and need to be able to have people to ask questions to, where you can feel safe in doing that. And that's really, the disability community is really trying to get into all these other movements. The women's movement really acknowledging that disabled women are part of the women's community, and really ensuring that as whatever work is going on is happening, and we're looking at diversity and reaching out to broader and broader parts of the community, that disability is something that we mention, that we bring disabled people to the table, that we become a part of the work and the leadership going on, Black, brown, Native Americans, white, disabled women, gay, straight, whatever it may be. We need to recognize that women come in all shapes and sizes, and that disabled women are a part of it. And I think the fact that the women's movement is moving forward slowly, but has not yet addressed it enough, is a barrier in many ways. And most people acquire their disabilities as they're getting older, which means if you don't want to wind up in a nursing home, if you want to be able to stay in your own home, you need to be looking at things like, oh, is the place that I'm buying full of steps? Do I really want to be living here when I'm 60, 70, 80 years old? Is that really something that's going to be possible? What do I do if I'm going to need help? What kinds of services are in my community? Working with disabled organizations allows younger people in the middle ages and younger and older to really begin to plan for your futures, looking at disability. And right now, many people, they can look up to people like me and others, and they look at us as inspirational. But in reality, we want disability to be seen, as I've said, as something which is normal, in which case we can prepare, we can be supportive, we can be respectful, and we can help this very large group, 61 million disabled people in the United States, 35 million of voting age. These are some of the essential issues that we're working on, and we are gaining traction. There are more disabled people who are being elected at state and local positions. We've got people like Tammy Duckworth, senator from New Jersey, from Illinois, Senator Dole, Democrats, Republicans, Independents. That's what this is all about.
Wow. This is, such an honor. And honestly, and what one of the most important things that, I look at is, I always remember this from, Lorraine and Arvis always saying, is what is the biggest minority in the world? And it's disabled people, and so Judy, we're so grateful to have you. And I hope, you're going to be in one of the breakout rooms, because we have so many people right now asking all these questions and everything like this. And so I would love, Judy's going to be in a breakout room, whether you like it or not. Judy, I'm making you going to be one. Woohoo! And so everybody, it's, we're like now closing and everything. And, first of all, Judy's movie, Crip Camp, which she's one of the, the stars of.
Not my movie, it's Netflix. The Obamas, directed by Jim LeBrecq and Nicole Newnham. I'm in it.
Woohoo! And it's going to get an Oscar nomination. I know it. You're going to win. You deserve it. That whole movie deserves it. So everybody, I want to say, this hasn't been the easiest Women's Entrepreneurship Day, because I'm a people person. So I like to, I can control the room. If you're not having fun, I make sure you have fun, and I make sure everyone gets to meet everyone. And I know we're virtual and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to say, everyone, thank you so much, for joining us today. I want to say, Woohoo! And I want to say, I hope you'll join our goal to fund 1,000 impoverished women with microloans. And if you could donate $1, $10, $100, $5,000, we will match every dollar to make sure that we fund 1,000 impoverished women. And that's what I hope you'll join us on this day, because every year at the United Nations, we raise enough money for that. And I want to say also that, whoever's on this and all about the people in the world that are celebrating this, to always remember Women's Entrepreneurship Day is every day. Support, empower, and celebrate women in business. And if we can do that, I know, knowing about these microloans, we can alleviate poverty